And it looks like we are live. Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. Welcome to Crystal Coaching Connections, my video podcast, where we spend some time every single week discussing your health, your wellness, and everything in between. The goal of my show is to really bring together health and wellness as an integrative practice to fully explore our well-being like the spokes of a wheel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Crystal Baran. I can't speak today. I am an integrative health and wellness coach who specializes in stress, anxiety, and burnout. And I help men and women to navigate their stress and their burnout, to fully reclaim their confidence and overall stress less. Essentially, I am your guide to helping you find realignment. This week on my podcast, I have this beautiful lady here with me. Her name is Veronique Benoit. She is awesome. We are going to be talking to her about mindfulness meditation and a special type of meditation that she's brought all the way over from Europe. And there's not a lot of people that know a lot about it. So Veronique, welcome. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to leave you the floor.
Hi, Crystal. Thank you for the invitation. I'm so excited to share this information with the world because, as you just mentioned, it's a pretty unknown method to help you with your stress. So it really fits in your lifestyle. So my name is Veronique Benoit and I am originally from Belgium. So I moved to the States like 6 years ago. And I am an integrative psychotherapist, and the title is I'm a master specialist in Sophrology. Wow. And when I say this to people, they were like,
what
is this?
I can only imagine.
Yeah. So, but that's, if you would translate the word, it's
Sophrology, okay.
Sophrology, the word is like, it's the study, the science of the harmony between your body and your mind.
Wow.
And even when you say that, everyone is like, okay, that didn't help me anything.
So clearly you have become well-versed in learning how to teach people to understand what Sophrology is.
Yeah, and that's now the most important thing, and especially in English speaking countries, is to educate people in this method, because like you said, I am from Europe and this method is really, really huge over there, and it's mostly because you can learn this in the French language. Okay. And they didn't translate it, so I studied that for 4 years in Spain. So it's, if you want to go, it's like a long way.
It's definitely a long way.
If you want to study. So I'm bringing this to the States, and it's a little bit, this method is different in the way you practice it. I translate it in a dynamic, guided movement meditation.
Guided movement meditation. Okay, hold on. I got to write that down because I feel like people are going to be asking that question. So you said dynamic.
Yes.
Dynamic.
It's guided.
Okay, guided.
It's movement.
Movement.
And it's meditation. So if you hear me say this, then it's everything. And it is everything. And that's just it. It's a blend. It's a mix of East and Western techniques that they put into one method. And it is dynamic. So that means that we normally, if you talk about meditation, a lot of people, what do you think about it if you think about meditation?
Okay, that's a perfect question. I think being quiet, being alone, seated with my eyes closed and reflecting.
Absolutely.
That's what I think of meditation.
Yeah, and that's what most people think about meditation. It's something like, okay, this is sitting still for a long time and doing nothing. And then people think, like mostly people that are stressed, like the people that you work with, are mostly people that perfectionists, they have a busy job, they work. So if you talk about meditation and they have this vision about that, they're like, uh-uh.
That. It's so funny because when you were saying that, Veronique, I was picturing myself at the peak of my burnout. And
Yeah,
I remember even yoga. I don't know if you saw my episode, one of my last episodes, but it was I cried through a whole hour and a half yoga class because the idea of just being still in my mind,
yeah. It's hard.
it
It's
was
hard.
impossible. At the time, it
Yeah.
felt impossible.
Yes, and absolutely. And that's what you just mentioned. And thank you for saying this, because if you are on the edge or you are in a burnout, then it is really, really hard
Yeah.
to just sit still, because what you do with just sitting still is then we live normally, or not everyone lives mostly outside ourselves.
Yeah.
We're focused on what we're going to
Other
do,
people, other
on,
things.
on the past or in the or in the future, but not really in the present. And that's this mindful focus is in the present. So it's a challenge if you have issues going on, to just sit there and say, okay, and now we're going to focus on ourselves, because you don't want to, there is too much going on.
Yeah.
So this method is dynamic, and that really helps. What I mean by that, if you would say in your situation that you just described, I am going to sit down, like we need to do in a meditation, and we close your eyes. Well, the brain is not going to say, okay, I got it. I'm just going to shut down because we decide to shut down. That's not
No,
how it works.
no, it's going to
Your
fight against
body,
it.
yeah, it's going to raise and it's going to be all over the place.
Mhm.
And that's what then we in sophrology do. We say, okay, we are not going to start sitting down, but let's just start standing up.
Okay.
And we stand up starting from a movement that is really easy to do. So they are simplified movements. So they come from the yoga, but they are really simplified. So everyone can do
Yeah, so
them.
you're not putting yourself in an overhead like downward dog or something
No,
like that. It's just attaching the thought to a movement.
absolutely. That's the mind connecting with the body. So, and that's a simple movement. And that can be like, yeah, just shaking your shoulders.
Doing something like this.
Yeah, something like that, shaking your shoulders. And what happens in that moment, if you say, okay, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to stand up and just feel that I'm standing here, I'm going to shake and I'm do we have all kinds of movements. So what you do is you connect your mind with the experience of your body. So you get this body connection.
Yeah.
So then we start with this body connection where you focus on the body, and it's a certain mindset also. So it's like, feel the aliveness of your body. And we do everything in your limits. So it's not like we need to now shake because we have a goal to be more flexible, or we do this because we want to stretch or get more muscles. No, we don't have any goal in mind.
There's no
We have,
physical goal to the actual movement. It's really
yes, it's like, okay, I can move and this feels great. And it doesn't have to be an extreme movement. It's like, okay, I can do this.
yeah.
And this is, and how does it, and then we pause, and then it's, what do you feel? It's really connecting with the feeling, but in a positive way. Okay, so I feel, oh, now I feel that this is much warmer. I feel like tingling. Oh, I feel that my breath changed by doing this movement. I feel that my heart is a little bit faster because I did some. So just doing that, you are fast, you're landing faster in your body.
Wow.
And
That's amazing.
when you do this, then then the next thing we say, okay, then then you can come and sit down, and then you are in your body because you experience all these things. And then we continuously ask with a certain openness and curiosity in a positive way, okay, what do you feel now? Did you feel a shift, or didn't you feel a shift? It's all good, but it's like this mindset of curiosity,
Yeah.
of openness, of wanting to learn more about the whole body mind connection. And then we change the whole time. So we have a movement, and then we can say like, okay, let's now do a visualization about, a lot of people like something positive, like remember or think about someone you love.
Okay.
What if you think about someone you love, how does that feel in your body? And then it's like just shifting the awareness that, everything starts with a thought. So
Mhm.
if you feel not really happy, just place another thought in your mind
Yeah.
and feel what happens. And that's what we kind of do with the sophrology, is that it's all about awareness and consciousness.
I really
And
love so guys, straight up, I don't meditate. I've never meditated. I am telling everybody here on my show that I'm not a meditator. I've done pretty much, I think, almost every practice when it came to stress management for myself, except for meditation. And I guess the attachment to mindfulness, right? I am much more mindful than I am meditative. But what I'm liking about, that's why when we connected, when we talked, I really loved the idea of the sophrology, because for somebody like me, it's still very intimidating. And I've had a journey. I've had a very big journey, climbing out of that burnout, that stressed world. I still have, everybody has stress. It's completely normal that we have those ups and downs in our lives. But it's something that it's very intimidating. I find
yeah.
meditation, the meditation journey. And
Mhm.
when you talked to me about sophrology, I felt instantly more connected to it from the guiding principles of it.
Yeah,
From what I've seen in meditation, I feel like even if you're in a group, it's a very individual practice.
absolutely.
But I feel like it's scary. For me, it's scary. But
Mhm.
when I think about the sophrology, I feel like I would be going into a place similar to a place where I would do breath work, a guided breath
Yeah.
work session, right? So this feels like it's a narrative, it's a narrated conversation to
Mhm.
bring you to that mind body awareness. And I
Mhm.
feel like it's almost like the best beginner small steps for somebody who wants to go into learning the
Mhm.
art of meditation. Would you not agree?
I absolutely agree. And I have 30 years of experience, and I know working with all these people that it is a challenge. And especially if you have problems or pain or whatever that is stress related,
Yeah.
then it's a challenge. Absolutely. And you take it step by step.
Mhm.
And you grow in this. And that's what I noticed with the clients that I had. It's like people need to know first what it's all about,
Yeah.
have this relationship of trust, because that's what I felt with a lot of people. And it's actually funny a lot of medical doctors referred to me. So the people, the clients, the patients trusted their doctor.
Of course.
So, but they had all like, okay, this doctor said, I am going to refer you to a specialist in stress and meditation and all this stuff. And people what do you think about, what do you think if
People are like, where
someone,
am I going?
yes, where am I going? Who is this gonna be? And if you say like, okay, it's all about meditation, some people have like a vision.
Yeah,
They have an image of a
I would.
person.
I would have
Yeah,
had. I would have
it's
had.
normal. It's normal. Yeah, everyone. I was with everyone that. So they were referred to me, and then they had like this idea, where the heck am I gonna go? And yeah, who is this gonna be? Well, my doctor said that I had to try this. So just let's give this a try.
Yeah.
So then when they came to my house and I opened the door, a lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, you look so normal."
Yeah, because people don't know what to expect. There's you see a lot of monks and monks
Yes,
meditate.
yes,
You think about the Tibetan monks, you think about
yeah,
those countries
yeah,
and that have those intense, the Buddhist practices. Yeah, it could be very intimidating. But what
yeah.
I also love that you just said, because my show is all about integrative wellness. It's about taking, I talked about it, your journey in your health and wellness journey is not linear. It's not like this. There are so many different things. Like I mentioned before, I did hundreds of different things. I just didn't do meditation, but we did so many things. And what I loved that you just said, I loved it. And I love that you work with a doctor. I love that doctors refer people to you, because we need to be living in a world where the doctors are capable of referring to people like us, to help guide people through their health and wellness journeys. And really, they need the helping hand. It's one thing, yes, they need to get healthy, but they need to be shown the route. They
Right.
need to be guided the route. And that's what I love what you just said. And I love how you've managed to be working, you're working in the United States with doctors, on a holistic practice bit level. This is phenomenal, phenomenal. It's amazing.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's important. That's important, absolutely, and that's why we need to educate everyone what there is out there.
Yeah,
Yes.
we really need to continue to educate, because there's still a lot of people that don't know. They don't even know their rights, and when it comes to like their they just don't know. They don't know how to ask for things. They don't know how to ask for help. And so this is a really good practice. So when your clients come to see you first time they meet you, they're like, wow, oh my goodness, look at this, she's definitely not a monk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you help your clients, like especially in this, like what does a typical journey of one of your clients look like?
Yes, that's a good question. So mostly they got referred, and like I just mentioned, it's a relationship of trust,
Yes.
because people have an idea about meditation, and there is also a certain fear of not being in control anymore. So, and that's the first session is like, when I coach, it's like an hour 15, but it's mostly first we talk about all the issues. That's more like the counseling thing. And out of this conversation, I hear what people need. Just saying, like, someone is talking like, okay, I have so much on my mind and it's so hard for me to fall asleep, just saying something. I wish, I asked my doctor to prescribe me something, but he said, like, yeah, you first need to learn something different before I want to prescribe you medication, because you get addicted to that. So if they start talking about that, then I know that in my meditation session, I have to integrate something that they are really sinking into this relaxation,
Yeah.
and that they feel that they learn how to let go, because sleep is all about
Really.
yeah, connecting in the body and letting go of everything that is going on in your life. So what people mention in their talk,
Yep.
I integrate this in the exercise of meditation, a sophrology
Okay.
exercise, and then I guide them through this exercise, and then after we reframe, and I say, okay, this is now what you are going to practice, the same thing. You're going to practice this every day. This is your tool for this week. Everyone needs to bring also a kind of notebook,
Yep.
and I ask them, I'll tell them, I say a lot of things. And if, yeah, some things will stick, other things will fly through your head.
Yep.
And you have the possibility to write everything down. So at the end of the session, then I say, take your notebook, and just write down now what you're going to practice. And these are the steps. So then we meet normally like once a week, depending on how the urgency. If people are really in need, then I say, okay, let's start 2 times in the week. And then we go to 1 time in the week and then every 2 weeks. So that's a little bit depending, but it's the sophrology that I coach individually is really, it's like a customized meditation.
I absolutely love that. So typically, I mean, I'm sure that you could do a type of sophrology meditation for group activities via Zoom. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that
yeah,
things can happen like that.
yeah,
But what I like, you take a very bio-individual approach to it.
yeah,
Similarly to my practice, right? There's no cookie cutter
yeah.
approach to dealing
No,
with somebody's stress and anxiety. And one person, the way they manage it is going to be very different. And so, we might do some of the same activities that we
yeah.
do for multiple clients, but then sometimes there's completely new things. And so what I'm hearing you say is that you really take an individualized approach to each person,
Yeah,
understand their needs particularly,
yeah,
and offer them a tangible solution, because it's not just so again, that's another reason why I'm really liking this whole sophrology thing, is because it's kind of like you are going into a coaching session. It is not just a meditative session.
yeah.
You're learning about the connection between your mind and body, but you're also able to take notes. You're able to really take control of those tangible actions, and then you teach people how to bring them into their practice on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And that makes the huge difference, because sometimes I hear nowadays people say, you know, you have all this free meditations online, you have this free apps with all the meditations. That's really good.
They are.
But there is a difference.
Yeah.
There is a difference, because the difference with what I do is I make people accountable. I make people, yeah, they need to be independent. What I mean by that,
They're in the driver's seat. It's them taking
yes,
charge.
they take action and control over their own life. And what I do, it's active.
Yeah.
When you do whatever online, you just let it come over you. That's passive. And it's just that moment that you do it. And that's
Yeah.
fine. Sometimes that's just
It's
what
great.
you need. That's great. But when you are struggling with certain things, then it's a self-development program. So that's also the way I share it with people. It's not only meditation, it's not only relaxation or awareness or consciousness, it's a self-development process.
It really
and and that's the main difference, that this is active. You are responsible for your own growth and your own process and your own healing. So, and that's a huge difference. Yes.
you hit the nail right on the head over there, because I get asked that question a lot. Like, I get it asked in a different way. Well, why you as opposed to another coach, right? And again,
Mhm.
it's kind of the same thing, right? Like you could,
Yeah.
whatever the connection may be with, me or with another person, it really depends on your needs, right? There are tons of different coaches out there, right? You're
Yeah.
a coach, I'm a coach.
Yeah.
We both deal with stress.
Yeah.
It really
That's
depends.
another approach.
And
Yeah.
each person's approach is very different. And I like that, because I like that people ask those questions, because it gives us the opportunity to really dive deep. I could do yoga online for free, watching it, no problem.
Mhm.
But I can
Mhm.
also go to a class and really hear the instructor and have her teach me and have her correct postures and do all that kind of stuff. And that's the kind of accountability that comes with coaching. And
Yeah.
I really love the sophrology idea, because I feel like it would be something that I would definitely be interested in trying. Definitely. But I have another question for you, unless you have another topic. But did you have anything that you wanted to say on that, or can I go to ask you that?
I'm curious about your question.
I want to know what made you particularly decide to go into this line of business? Because I know you have a very heavy background. I saw your bio. I couldn't put all of the amazing things that you did in your bio in our thing today. But what made you decide that this is the way that you wanted to, move forward in your life and help people?
That's a really good question.
I know.
because, because, mostly what we do has to do with our own story. And that's so true. So believe it or not, I'm the most stressful person in
Me
the
too.
world. If my mom would watch me now, she would say, I totally agree. Because really, as a young student, I was struggling with stress really at a young age because I had high expectations and high standards and was a perfectionist
Mm.
and wanted to be kind of smarter than my father. and, and I
Yeah,
wanted to prove myself every
yeah.
day. Every day I wanted to be the best and whatever, but but
You
that
got
had
some hardcore limiting beliefs there, huh?
some restrictions.
You know?
That means, that means like really, yeah, that got out of hand because I gave myself so much stress that I developed anxiety and fear for failure, and that in extreme ways that when I studied day and night
Wow.
because yeah, and I couldn't allow myself to not study because that was a waste of my time sleeping.
Wow.
But the result was when the moment was there to perform, I couldn't. I couldn't because I was completely, yeah,
You deprived yourself for so long of
yeah,
the
I was completely, yeah, tired, uh, and not fit and not clear in my head. And then I really froze on those moments. So I had
oh,
blackouts.
oh really?
And
Blackouts and everything.
yeah, so then
And I bet
when
you when it was happening, you had no idea that these
no,
blackouts were
no,
happening because of the stress that you were putting your body under. You just
and
like,
I was young and I didn't know anything about the mind and the body. And I am talking about how old was I? It started at 12 years old. So, but I struggle with that my whole young life. And I didn't know what there was out there. And also doctors didn't know. So they gave me all kinds of medication to have a sharper brain, but
oh
that
my,
wasn't it. And the thing was that, and then I did a test and I failed because I had a blackout. I couldn't think. It was like everything shut out.
you shut down.
And so what I did then, what I concluded for myself was, oh, wait a minute, I didn't study enough, was my conclusion. So what I did was study more
Okay, so you
and
just
more and
kept
more.
putting yourself in that circle. You didn't
Yeah,
associate it with the fact that you
yeah.
were studying too much, that you couldn't relax.
No.
Wow, Veronique, that's
So
that's
that was the whole story until then, 18 years old. That's the age that you have to decide what you're going to do in life. And then I thought, wait a minute, if this is going to go this way, I will never succeed in my life. And then that's why I started physical therapy. And then I started my path about, okay,
I have
let's just.
shivers. I have shivers everywhere.
And that's how, yeah, it starts from your own story and wanting to succeed. And then at a certain age, because I'm getting older and thinking, wait a minute, this is not going to work in any way. So I need to do something. And then I started studying the mind and then after the body. And then after that, I did integrated psychotherapy because I thought, okay, I want to know more about the mind and then just see what is there in the world of techniques that I can study so I can help people in what I have experienced was that the more I knew about how the body functions, how the mind functions, all my techniques that I was studying, the more I knew about that, the easier my life became. It was like, oh, wait a minute, is it that
Look how
easy?
successful I am now. All I had to do was sleep. That's all I had to
Yeah.
do. Right?
Yes,
Wow.
and think differently.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course, of course. No,
Yeah.
I was kind of making a play on it, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that is really a story, Vero. That's a beautiful story. It's a sad
Yeah.
story, but it's a success story at the same time because you ended up you were I want to say lucky that you were able to find it so young, right?
Yeah, it has everything, for everything that happened in my life. I am grateful in a way that it happened
Yeah,
because it gave me a lot of lessons,
yeah.
really important lessons to learn, and it brought me where I am now. And I'm happy for that. So, and that's also what sophrology is all about, is to see everything in a positive daylight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you learning the sophrology was like the kind of climax of
Mhm.
everything else that you learned. So it's like you picked up all of these amazing, beautiful techniques and education that would be able to help people. And I feel like sophrology became your cherry on the top. It
Yeah.
really became what basically englobed
Oh,
it turned it holistic. It's a holistic
yeah,
approach.
absolutely. And that's why I kept that, because I was like, this is what it's the blend.
Yeah.
It's the blend of everything. It's the integration of yoga, of Zen, of philosophy, psychology, of movement. So I
Wow.
think that's it.
How do people contact you? Like if ever they want to learn about this, like would they just reach out to you on Facebook? I mean, I'm going to obviously invite you to add your contact information into the contacts because I really do want people, if they have the opportunity to ask you questions, to go ahead because my goodness. But like, how would people normally come to work with you? Is it usually through referrals through doctors or people reach out and you work one on one with them? Do you work with people all over the world still via Zoom? Like,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the positive thing about the whole situation that happened last
I know I
year.
have clients all over the world now.
It opened up the world, and it's a good thing. So I am doing this on Zoom, but now we are opening up in Arizona, so I'm doing it back one-on-one in life, in real life. So people can reach me on Facebook, they can go on my website,
Yep.
and everyone who wants to try that, if you go on my website, you will see that you can book an appointment, with a free appointment with me from an hour,
Okay.
and that's where I talk a little bit, and where you also can experience, because that's how I work with people, and I did that my whole life. Is like, just try it
Yeah.
and
That's
see if it's something for you.
okay. So
And
after we get off this, you need to absolutely put your contact information into the chat into the comments below our video because I really want people to be able to take advantage of that amazing offer and to learn
Mhm.
more about it because this is a beautiful practice, especially for people who want to again, it's a foundational practice. I know it's your cherry on the top, but it's such a foundational practice for
Yeah.
mindfulness and to be able to move into maybe in the future going to more of that intrinsic meditation, that internal
Mhm.
meditation that people are maybe a little bit intimidated by.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and that's important to just try it out to
Yeah.
see if it's a good fit. And even with, yeah, if you have a coach, it's with everyone,
Yeah.
you have to have that connection. And if you don't have it, then it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But that's why I do this, and I did this with everyone. Just try it one time, and then you can decide whatever you want to do. And then I have this offers, like, depending on what the problem is. It's like, in your situation, if
Yeah.
you are really in a burnout, then you start with 3 months coaching,
Hmm.
or 6 months, depending on how
Yeah.
deep you are. but it's depending on what your problem is. I have like a package where we have only the sleep issues,
Yeah,
go on a program for that. So depending on that, I can, yeah, reach out and say what are
that's amazing.
all the possibilities.
This was honestly probably it was an awesome conversation. I really appreciate learning everything that you had to teach. I'm actually excited to see how much sophrology is going to be coming over to North America, right?
Yeah,
Because it's still only really in Europe. There's not a lot of people that know about it over here, but I feel like more and more as you speak to the world, Veronique, people are going to start hearing more about it, and it's going to become something that's a lot more incorporated into our everyday well-being practice.
I
Thank
hope so.
you. Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
inviting me. Thank
Oh, you're
you.
very welcome. I really wanted to have a specialist on here, talking about meditation and yeah, especially your practice. For me, again, I told you, for me, it was the least intimidating version of meditation that I've ever heard about. So, thank you again for joining me. Thank you for being on my show. Thank you for allowing my audience to learn about your practice. Thank you for being part of this amazing holistic integrative wellness plan that we have in this world.
Thank you.
You're
Yes.
very welcome. All right, so thanks everybody for joining us today. Again, my amazing guest Veronique Benoit, who is a super specialist in meditation, bringing over sophrology from Europe. Thank you again. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone, and we'll see you next time.